Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're tackling something pretty specific, a really crucial topic for many doctors, the strategic roadmap to specialist registration.
That's right, and we're zeroing in on the portfolio pathway for emergency medicine here in the UK.
Exactly. For those of you maybe considering this or already on it, you'll know it's the demanding route. Flexible, yes, but intense.
Definitely not the standard CCT pathway.
No. It's often described as a marathon, not a sprint. Requires serious organization, doesn't it? And some pretty solid strategic planning right from the get-go.
That marathon point is key,
Yeah.
especially because, the goalposts shifted recently. Since November 30th, 2023, the whole assessment standard changed.
Ah, right. How so?
Well, it used to be about proving full equivalence to a UK training program. That was, frankly, a nightmare for many, especially international grads.
Okay.
Now, the focus is on proving you have the essential knowledge, skills, and experience the KSE needed to practice as a consultant.
KSC. Got it.
And it's all benchmarked against the 2021 RCEM curriculum. So it's less about ticking every single box of a specific training history and more about demonstrating the actual outcome. Can you do the job?
That sounds like a much more sensible approach, actually. It must legitimize a lot of valuable experience gained outside a standard rotation.
It does. And the flexibility is a huge draw for the right person. Geographical stability, fitting evidence, gathering around your life. It's appealing.
But only if you get that initial strategy right, which leads us nicely into phase one, that foundational assessment.
Yes. And the sources we looked at really hammer this home. Skipping this honest self-appraisal, that's apparently the #1 reason people fail or waste a ton of effort.
So you've got to ask yourself honestly, am I ready for this before starting?
Precisely. Assess your personal readiness, your professional situation.
Okay, let's break down what predicts success. The source mentions 4 key things. First, motivation and ambition. Sounds obvious, but this thing is tough.
It really is. You need that internal engine because it's a long haul.
Second, organizational prowess. Now, this one jumped out at me.
It's huge.
They say it's as much a test of organization as clinical skill. You're potentially managing, up to 1,000 pages of documents?
Yeah, potentially. Over several years, collecting, curating, mapping it all.
Wow. 1,000 pages. Does that mean brilliant clinicians who just aren't, admin savvy might struggle?
They might, because the ability to organize that evidence against those 12 SLOs, the specialty learning outcomes, is part of demonstrating consultant-level capability. Governance, admin, it's part of the role.
Okay, point taken. It's part of the assessment itself. Number 3, predictor.
Your support system. You absolutely need people in your corner. A designated educational supervisor who gets this pathway, not just CCT.
Right, someone who understands the nuances.
And you need buy-in from your clinical director, your consultant colleagues, for sign-offs, references, assessments. It's not a solo mission.
Makes sense.
Wow.
And the 4th factor comes with a warning, I believe.
Yes, employment stability. The mentors advising on this strongly discourage trying it as a full-time locum.
Why is that? Logistics.
Purely logistics, yeah. It's incredibly difficult to demonstrate that sustained engagement in things like governance, audit, quality improvement, real consultant-level stuff if you're hopping between jobs.
So a stable post is pretty much essential to launch from.
Highly recommended, definitely.
Okay, quick detour into the practicalities, costs and timelines. You start via the GMC portal, right?
Correct. Initial submission fee is currently around $1,781, but always double-check that.
Good point. Fees change.
Yeah.
And then RCEM reviews it.
Yes, the qualitative review takes about 3 months usually.
And if it's not successful first time?
You typically get feedback on the weak areas. You then have up to a year to gather more evidence and resubmit. That review costs about £750 approximately. Again, check the latest fees.
Right, so foundations assessed, strategy in place. Now phase 2, the core specialty placements. This sounds like a big one.
It is often a major hurdle, according to the sources. You have to show breadth beyond the ED. It's non-negotiable.
Because an EM consultant needs that wider KSE.
Exactly. You need to manage patients beyond that initial resuscitation phase, understand their journey, and crucially, you need the evidence signed off by specialists in those fields.
Okay, let's run through them. Anesthetics.
Indicative time is 3 to 6 months, full-time equivalent, FTE. Mandatory evidence, the initial assessment of competence, the IAC.
IAC, what does that involve?
It includes specific EPAs in trustable professional activities, EPA 1 and 2, basically proving you can safely handle basic anesthesia.
Okay. Then intensive care medicine, ICM.
Similar time frame, 3 to 6 months FTE.
Yeah.
You need the HALO holistic assessment of learning outcomes in ICM, plus the anesthetics, ALO, and sedation.
Halo. Got it. What about acute medicine?
You could potentially get these competencies within the ED setting,
Oh, okay.
but you still need solid evidence. At least 20 reflective case histories on medical patients, ideally signed off by acute physicians, showing you've managed them properly, not just the first hour.
Right, proving that depth. And pediatric emergency medicine, PEM.
A placement is highly recommended. At least 3 months FTE, ideally in a busy pediatric ED, think over 16,000 attendances a year.
And more reflective cases needed there, too.
Yep, minimum of 20 PEM-specific reflective cases.
The absolute key during these placements, it seems, is getting the right sign-off.
Critical. Your WPBA's workplace-based assessment, so your CBDs, mini-CEXs, DOPS, must be signed by consultants in that specific specialty. Anesthetic sign-off for anesthetics, ICM for ICM, and so on.
So, old evidence without the right signature might not count?
It's risky. You need contemporary, correctly verified evidence.
Okay, moving on to phase 3. Building what our source calls the evidence fortress. This is where that huge volume comes in.
The 800 to 1,000 pages. Systematically collected, curated, organized, and mapped. Mapped meticulously against the 12 specialty learning outcomes, the SLOs, from the 2021 RCEM curriculum.
Right, the SLOs are the architecture. Before we get into specific SLOs, let's talk about a major piece of foundation evidence, the FRCEM exam.
Ah, yes. The Fellowship of the Royal College of Emergency Medicine.
Is it mandatory?
No, it's not strictly mandatory, but honestly, trying this pathway without it, the roadmap likens it to climbing Everest in trainers instead of proper hiking boots.
Haha. Okay, vivid analogy. Why is it so powerful?
It's simply the most effective single piece of evidence to benchmark your knowledge against a curriculum. It underpins almost every SLO. It answers that fundamental question. Does this person possess the core knowledge of an EM consultant?
So if you don't have it,
You need a lot more supporting evidence to prove that knowledge base. FRCM just makes life much, much easier.
makes sense. Okay, let's look at mapping evidence to those SLOs. SLO 1, care for stable adult patients.
That's where your general clinical evidence goes. Your FRCEM pass, your standard WPBAs, reflective cases on adult patients.
And procedural skills. SLO 6, deliver key procedural skills.
Simple. All your DOPS, directly observed procedural skills assessments go here. And your comprehensive procedural logbook.
What about the non-clinical consultant level stuff? Governance, quality improvement.
That's mainly SLO 11, improve quality and safety.
Mm-hmm.
This is crucial. You need full audit reports.
Meaning?
Not just starting at audit. You need the full cycle, documented initial data, intervention, re-audit results, the whole loop. Plus QIAT's quality improvement activity tools and proof you actually attend governance meetings regularly.
Right, demonstrating sustained engagement and leadership, running the department.
That's SLO 8, lead the ED shift. This is where all your ESLE's extended supervised learning events should live. They demonstrate your leadership, decision-making, situational awareness, liaising with other teams.
Okay, let's talk numbers. The high-volume benchmarks. These are minimums, right? No wiggle room.
Pretty much. These often trip people up. For WPBAs, you need a minimum of 36.
36 total.
Yes, split roughly. 12 case-based discussions, CBDs, 12 DOPS, and 12 mini-CEXs. And importantly, this is on top of any WPBAs you collected during those core specialty placements.
Ah, okay. So 36 general EM WPBAs. What about the leadership evidence, the ESLEs?
Minimum of 6 ESLEs from the last 3 years of your practice. And here's a key detail. 3 of those 6 must be from the last 12 months, just before you submit.
Okay, recency is vital there. And then the reflections.
Yeah, the reflective case histories. Brace yourself. 150 cases over the last 3 years.
1 of 50, so 50 a year.
50 a year, yeah. And these need to be good, properly reflective, not just saw patient X, did Y, result Z.
What are they looking for?
Your thinking process, the
That's-
complexities, the learning points, how it changes your future practice. Real deep reflection demonstrating that consultant-level critical thinking.
Understood. And finally, the basic compliance stuff.
Mandatory life support courses, ALS, ATLS, APLS, plus Level 3 safeguarding for children and Level 1 ultrasound sign-off. All must be valid, in date, at the moment you hit submit.
No expired certs allowed.
Absolutely not. Instant fail.
Right. Phase 4, submission. Logistics and tools. You mentioned the RCEM e-portfolio, Kaizen.
Yeah, highly recommended. Makes collecting and mapping to SLOs much easier electronically. But the other essential tool is software like Adobe Pro.
For
Redaction. Anonymization. This is critical. You must thoroughly redact all patient-identifiable data from every single page you upload.
every page.
Every single one. Miss one name, one hospital number, and that whole piece of evidence could be disregarded. You need proper redaction software, not just a black marker pen. Seriously.
Okay, noted. Very important. And the submission itself. Checklist items.
You need to group your documents logically. There's a limit, max 150 uploads usually, clear file names.
Verification.
Yep. You nominate a consultant or director at each place you've worked to verify the evidence is authentic.
And referees.
Minimum of 4. At least 2 must be EM consultants. And crucially, at least 2 of the referees must have done an ESLE with you in the last 12 months.
Again, that recency requirement for high-level feedback.
Exactly. They want current opinions on your consultant potential.
So summing up the success strategies versus the common failures.
Success comes from prospective collection gathering evidence as you go. Getting FRCEM helps massively. Meticulous anonymization.
And their failures.
Often down to insufficient or out-of-date core specialty evidence. Those expired life support certs we mentioned.
Yeah.
Or not completing a full audit cycle, missing the re-audit is common.
Given the scale of this, that multi-year roadmap idea seems essential. You can't realistically cram this into 1 year.
Absolutely not. Burnout, guaranteed. You need to break it down. Think strategically over, say, 3 years.
Okay, walk us through a potential 3-year plan. Year 1.
Year 1, foundations. Focus on getting those core anesthetics and ICM placements done and signed off. Start building your ESLE count. Get into the habit of regular reflective cases. Nail the basic KSE outside the ED.
Makes sense. Year 2.
Consolidation and leadership. Maybe do your PEM placement. Really focus on accumulating the bulk of those 36 WPBAs. And critically, lead a quality improvement project start to finish, including the re-audit. Document that full cycle.
Okay. Leaving year 3, 4.
Finalization. This is where you get those last 3 crucial ESLEs done within the final 12 months. Hit the final numbers for WPBAs and reflections. Check all courses are in date. Do the final thorough anonymization sweep, then compile and submit.
Breaking it down like that makes it seem, well, it's still huge, but manageable.
It is manageable with planning.
So ultimately, this portfolio pathway, it's more than just bureaucratic hoops, isn't it? It's a structured professional development journey.
It absolutely is. Getting through it formally recognizes your expertise, your resilience, your commitment. It's a massive achievement.
And if you follow that roadmap, you're essentially proving you can operate at consultant level before you officially get the title.
By definition, yes.
Yeah.
The whole process assesses that consultant level thinking, leadership, engagement and quality, governance.
Right. So here's something for you, the listener, to think about. We've talked about the evidence mountain, 36 WPBAs, 150 reflections, 6 ESLOs, the FRCEM. But forget the paperwork for a second. Think about your actual department right now. What specific non-clinical challenge, maybe an inefficient process, a communication breakdown, a resource issue could you take ownership of and demonstrably improve this week? What single action could you document that proves you're already thinking and leading like a consultant?
That's a great point. It's about demonstrating the mindset.
Exactly. Food for thought. We hope this deep dive gives you a clearer map for navigating that portfolio pathway.
Good luck to anyone undertaking it.
Indeed. We'll see you next time on The Deep Dive.